There's a place where most info businesses go to die, and it's not where you think. It's not no audience, it's not bad offer, it's not wrong niche. It is the middle. See, there's only really two ways to build an info business that works. Either sell something expensive to a few people or sell something cheap to everyone. Now, on the left side of this graph right here is Walmart. They're pure volume, millions of transactions at razor thin margins, and it works great if you're Walmart or Amazon. The right side is Rolex, premium positioning, fewer clients, massive margins, and it works great if you're actually good at what you do. The middle is where you charge a $500 course that 12 people buy and nobody finishes. That is the dead zone. And if you're watching this thinking about starting an info business, or you've already started one and the math just isn't mathing, you're almost certainly stuck in the middle. So, which side do you pick? Well, that's the exact question we're going to be answering in the rest of this video. So if you're the type that clicks away at 3 minutes looking for a silver bullet, go ahead. But if you actually want to know why you're stuck where you are within your business and break that limit, stick around. And just so you know, I'm not talking out of my ass here. My name's Kamil, and I've spent hundreds of hours analyzing sales funnels from some of the top coaches and gurus out there while working with multiple 5- and 6-figure entrepreneurs to help them scale their info businesses to multiple 6 figures per month. So without any further ado, let's just get straight into the rest of the video. So in 2006, Elon Musk published a blog post called The Secret Tesla Motors Master Plan. And he literally told everyone exactly what he was going to do, laid the whole thing out publicly, and he called it secret, which is kind of funny. The strategy was kind of dead simple. Number one, you build a premium sports car. They'll build the $120,000 Roadster. Number two, use the profits to build a mid-range sedan, the $57,000 Model S. 3, use the profits to build a mass market car, so the $35,000 Model 3. Now, the Roadster was never meant to be the main product. Only 2,500 were ever made. That's it. 2,500 units funded the entire R&D pipeline that eventually produced millions of Model 3s. And here's the part that matters for you. If Tesla had launched the $35,000 car first in 2008, two things would have happened. One, they would have gone bankrupt. Building cheap cars is surprisingly expensive. You need massive infrastructure, supply chains, factories. You need scale before the economics work out in your favor. Number two, people would not have trusted them. A $35,000 electric car from some startup nobody heard of? Pass. But a $120,000 electric sports car that celebrities were spotted driving? Now they have got brand equity. Now the $25,000 or the $35,000 version carries their credibility forward. So you always want to get the proof of concept first and scale second. This is exactly how info businesses should work, but almost nobody does it this way. Because the typical path looks like what most people do, which is start with a $97 course, pray for volume, no case studies, no feedback, no iteration because you aren't one-on-one with the client, and they try to scale something unproven and they go broke marketing a low margin product. A huge contrast to what Tesla did. And Musk said it himself, almost any new technology initially has high unit cost before it can be optimized. That is true for cars, and it is true for coaching programs too. In this case, your advice is the new technology. Your first offer is your Roadster. It doesn't need to serve millions. It needs to serve a few people really, really well and fund everything that comes after. So what does the info business version of this exactly look like? Well, to understand that, you need to understand the math behind cheap offers and why they destroy info businesses. Let's say there's two coaches there have the same goal, 10K per month. Coach A sells a $100 course. Coach B sells a $5,000 coaching package. With Coach A, he needs 100 sales per month. At 2% conversions, he needs 5,000 visitors. 5,000 visitors means a content machine with a huge audience. And 85% of buyers never finish the course. He gets support tickets from 100 people, refund requests, and learns nothing about what actually works. Whereas Coach B, he charges for $5,000 coaching. He needs 2 clients per month, 25% close rate. He needs 8 sales calls. 8 calls means 2 per week from organic DMs. Clients show up because they paid $5,000, and he has deep relationships with literally 2 people and clients who are invested and committed. He also learns exactly what moves the needle. And it gets worse for Coach A here because 100 buyers per month means 1,200 sales per year. So to get 1,200 sales at 2% conversion rate, you need 60,000 unique visitors hitting your sales page annually. That is real traffic, and that is a marketing machine. You guys probably don't even have a 60th of that in terms of subscribers. How would you expect to get 60,000 unique visitors every single year? 2 clients per month means just 24 clients per year. At a 25% close rate, you need 96 sales calls total. That's less than 2 calls per week. And here's what really, really kills the low ticket model. Let's say 300 people buy a $100 course. $30,000 gross, right? Sounds amazing. Now you have 300 people with questions, support tickets, refund requests, and 255 of them, 85%, will never even open module number 2. Versus 6 people paying $5,000 each, same 30,000. 6 clients who are all in, who show up to every call, who actually implement. Which version teaches you more about what works? Which version generates better testimonials? Which version do you actually want to run? The second one, obviously. The math isn't even close. High ticket coaching funnels close at 20 to 30% from accepted applications. Low ticket course sales pages convert at roughly 2%. You need 10 to 15 times more traffic to make the same money with a cheap offer. You probably don't have 10 to 15 times more traffic. You have the same audience, so you need to use them efficiently. All right, so now you understand that you really don't want to go for low ticket. But why specifically one-on-one coaching as the starting point? There's actually 5 specific reasons for this. So reason number 1 is the learning loop. Every hour you spend in one-on-one coaching is live market research. Because think about it. You hear the real objections, not the ones you imagine in your head when you were building slides at 2 a.m. The actual words your client uses, the problems they didn't even know they had. Coaches who go straight to courses build courses for imaginary clients. The course built from one-on-one experience will always perform better than one that was built from guessing what your client wants. Reason 2 is total flexibility. With a course, once it's recorded, it is done. With one-on-one, you can pivot mid-session. Client comes in with a problem you didn't anticipate, you solve in real time. You add it to your framework. Your methodology gets sharper every single week. That is how you build something worth scaling. You iterate in real time with real people telling you what to do and what to not. Reason 3, of course, is the 100% margin. There is no platform fees, no hosting costs, no customer support team, no refund processing. It is you, a Zoom call, and a client who paid $5,000 to be there. Your margins on one-on-one coaching are 80 to 90% net. Coaching businesses overall run at 20 to 40% and 50+% if they're really optimized. Compare that to consulting firms or any other damn business at 8 to 20 to even 5% at times. It is one of the highest margin business models that exists. And when you're starting out, margin is everything because margin is what funds your next phase. It is your runway. Reason 4, of course, is the natural price escalation. When you have 3 clients and someone new wants to work with you, you take them. When you have 8 clients and someone new wants to work with you, you can't because you are running low on time. So what do you exactly do? You raise your price. You don't need pricing strategy or a consultant to tell you when to charge more. Demand does it for you. You literally cannot take more clients at your current rate because you don't have the hours. This is how coaches go from 3 to 5 to 8 to 15K per client without it ever feeling forced because capacity creates that pressure and price absorbs that pressure. And finally, reason number 5 is that it funds everything because your one-on-one pays for your living expenses. The Roadster funded the Model S, your one-on-one coaching funds your group program, and your group program funds your course. These are the 3 phases you need to follow. And if you don't, you're going to realize while running that the runway has kind of vanished beneath you. By the way, if you're watching this and you've already got an audience, but you're not converting them into actual clients, that is exactly what we help with. So we build funnels for coaches and consultants with existing followings. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to talk a little bit more about it. But first, let's get into killing the objections that you might be having right now. So I already know what some of you are thinking because I hear the same 4 objections every time this comes up. So I'm just going to quickly put them into the ground, speedrunning this basically. Now, objection number 1 is, it's not scalable. Correct. One-on-one coaching is not infinitely scalable. Congratulations on understanding basic math. But scalability is a problem you earn. It is something you deal with after demand exceeds your capacity, and most coaches never get there because they're too busy trying to scale something that doesn't exist or nobody wants. Scale is a phase 2 problem. You solve the phase 1 problem first, which is to make money and get results for real human beings. Not in your head, in real life. Objection number 2 is, I'm trading time for money. Yes, you are. In fact, you are. At $1,250 per hour. 5 clients at $5,000 each is 20 hours per week of actual delivery. That is an effective rate of $1,250 per hour. Tell me one other thing that is giving you an ROI like that, and I will show you a monkey flying, right? Trading time for money is only a problem when the rate is bad or when you've maxed out the capacity and want to grow beyond it. At $0 per month, trying to get to $10,000 per month, your only job is to make money, not to build a passive income empire from day one. You want to get to capacity and then solve the scale problem later. Objection number 3 is no one will pay that much. Now this here is just projection because you're assuming your new audience has the same budget as your current one. They don't. Your audience is often further along than you actually might think because they're already spending money on inferior solutions, courses that don't work, programs that just bust, and of course tools they don't know how to use. A $5,000 coaching program that generates $50,000 in results is not expensive at all. It's in fact the cheapest investment they can possibly make. But there's a problem. Most coaches think that they would need a massive audience to find clients willing to pay $5K plus. Why? Because they project their own spending habits onto their audience. I wouldn't pay 5K, so nobody else would. But they are not their audience. Their audience has a specific problems, and so people with specific problems will want specific solutions, which command very, very premium prices. So here's how you can kind of just prove this yourself. You just want to hop on 5 discovery calls with people in your audience, normal conversations, and just ask them what they've already spent trying to solve this exact problem. That number will absolutely shock you. The people are already paying. They're just paying the wrong person. Finally, objection number 4, which is I don't have time for one-on-one. And this is probably the worst one. You probably have time for 2 calls per week, unless you're the president of the United States, in which case, hello, let's go out for lunch. At 5K per client, 2 clients per month, 10K per month. That is 8 sales calls per month and maybe 8 to 10 hours of delivery per week. If you can't find 10 hours a week to build a 10K per month income stream, the issue really isn't time. The issue is just mainly that you haven't decided that this actually matters to you yet. At this point, I assume you're finally sold and understand that you really should not be selling low ticket. So how do you actually build a high ticket offer worth paying that much money for? Well, there's 3 frames that I use to design an offer that is worth 10 times what you actually charge. And these are mostly thinking exercises. You sit down with a blank page and you work through each one. If you actually want to get results from this video, even a modicum of some kind of result, if you do one thing, just take out a pen and paper and actually ask yourself these questions. So frame 1 is the 10x question. Ask yourself this: if I had to charge 10 times more than I do right now, what would I include? If your current offer is $500, what would a $5,000 version look like? If you don't have an offer yet, what would a $5,000 coaching program include that would make someone feel stupid for not buying it? So you want to ask yourself that question, and then maybe it could be daily access to you via Slack or WhatsApp, custom strategy built for your client, weekly one-on-one calls reviewing their actual numbers, done with them implementation sessions, direct feedback on their content, offers, funnels. When you think 10x, you stop thinking in terms of what information can I package and start thinking in terms of what outcome can I actually guarantee? Because information is a commodity. The value isn't really what you know, it's the application of what you know to their specific situation. So that moves us on to frame 2, which is the word of mouth test. If the only way my business could grow was word of mouth from this one client, what would I do differently? Now, this changes absolutely everything because you're now not thinking about marketing, you're thinking about results. Because how could you make this client so impressed that they tell 5 friends about you? What does that experience need to look like? You would want to over deliver there. You would want to check in on them between calls. You would celebrate their wins publicly. You would make them feel like they're your only client, even if they aren't. Now, the coaching ROI data on this is absolutely wild because studies show high ticket coaching delivers an average ROI of 6 to 8x for clients. In some cases, 10 to 49x. Huge range, I know. A client pays you 5K, makes about 30K from your coaching. That's a 6x return. That client will tell everyone they know. They don't need, or you don't need a content machine. You need just one client who is screaming from the hilltops about your results. Obviously, you won't scale as fast that way, but it is a scalable business model. And that moves us again onto frame number 3, the final frame, which is of course the scalability filter. Now, you want to ask yourself, what if I had to make the offer worth 10x, but I had to remove everything that requires me personally? This is the one that builds your future because the answers to this question become your group program and eventually your course. You want to ask yourself, what can be systematized? What can be templated? What can be turned into a resource library? What can be delivered in a group setting without losing any of its effectiveness? You won't know the answers until you've done enough one-on-one to see the patterns. Every single client has those unique problems, but after 10 clients, you'll notice that 80% of the problems are the same 5 things. And those 5 things are your group program curriculum. And you want to also, before you build any of this, validate it. And for this, I usually just use my offer validation shortcut, which is you just want to hop on free delivery calls or discovery calls, with your audience, or send them a very simple form asking 3 questions. So if you're over 10K followers / subs, send them the form. If you're over 10K or if you're less than 10K subs or followers, just go ahead and hop on calls. Number 1, what is the biggest thing you're struggling with in your niche right now? Number 2, what have you already tried to fix it? And number 3, if someone could solve this for you in 90 days, what would that be worth it for you? These answers build your offer for you. The language they use become your marketing copy, and the price they mention becomes your anchor. You don't need to guess what people want. You just need to ask them. It's very, very simple. And that moves us right back over to the scaling ladder, because this is for people who have already started with one-on-one. This is to tell you, when do you actually move to the next level? Because this is where most people mess up. They either stay in one-on-one forever and burn out, or they jump to scale too early and the quality collapses. And there are very specific triggers for each of these transitions. Stage 1 is validation, $0 to $20,000 per month. Pure one-on-one coaching, 1 to 5 clients at $3,000 to $10,000 each. What you're doing here is that you're learning what actually moves the needle for your clients. You're documenting every single result, every win, every breakthrough, and building case studies that are not specific, or sorry, not generic, but actually specific. So went from 3K per month to 15K per month in 90 days in XYZ niche converts 10 times better than this program changed my life, right? You've seen billions of those out there. Trigger to move to stage 2 is that you have 10 plus documented case studies and you're turning people away because you're at capacity. Both of those conditions, not one, both. If you have case studies but you're not full, get more clients. The case studies aren't strong enough yet, or your funnel just needs more work. If you're full but have no case studies, something is wrong with your delivery. Fix that. Stage 2 is the leverage stage, which is where you keep 2 to 3 high-ticket one-on-one clients. They stay because they're your highest paying and easiest to deliver for. And you add a group coaching cohort, 8 to 20 people at 2 to 5K each. So your income split at stage 2 should look something like this. One-on-one clients at 10 to 15K per month should be lifestyle funded, and the group cohort at 16 to 100K per month should be scale funded. The total can be 25 to 115K per month. Anywhere between that is easily possible. The one-on-one clients fund your life while you test the group model. If the group does not work yet, you still eat. The group program is built from the patterns found in one-on-one, those 5 recurring problems. You already know it works because you've solved it 10 plus times individually. And you want to move on to stage 3 when your group cohort has results comparable to your one-on-one clients. Not identical, but comparable, right? Stage 3 is when you actually scale, by the way. 50K per month and beyond. Here, one-on-one still exists. It is your flagship, your premium anchor. Seeing your $15,000 offer makes your $3,000 group feel like an absolute bargain. Your group coaching still runs at your mid-tier. Now you add the lower tier product, the self-paced course, community membership, $97 to $1,000. The low ticket product converts better at this stage. You already have 20 plus testimonials from high ticket clients. The social proof from your $10,000 coaching program makes your $500 course look like an absolute steal. This is the Tesla model in action. The Roadster made the Model 3 trustworthy. Your high ticket coaching makes your course trustworthy. Most successful business operators don't actually add a self-paced course until 12 to 24 months in. The ones who start with courses first rarely break past 5 to 10K per month ever. And you'll see this trend everywhere. Now, you've gotten through the video and you're actually going to do this. Here is what your first week should be looking like. And by the way, I said first week because if you can't do this week, you will not start at all. So day 1 and 2 should be defining the transformation. Answer one specific question. What specific result can you help someone achieve in 90 days? Not, I help people grow their business. That is absolutely nothing. I help agency owners go from 5K per month to 20K per month in 90 days by fixing their client acquisition system. Specific person, specific starting point, specific outcome, and specific time frame. Day 3 is price it. You want to take whatever number just came to your head about the pricing and double it. You're going to feel uncomfortable, and that is very, very good. That means the price is probably right. The price is right. That's a good game show. Minimum $3,000 for your first offer. If you're genuinely scared, do a founding client rate at like about 50% off, maybe $1,500, which is like 15 times more than a $100 course deal. You're still making plenty of money. Day 4 to 5, you finally validate before you build. Do not build slides. Do not build anything. Send a form to your audience or hop on a few calls and ask them these 3 questions. The answers will tell you exactly what to include, and the objections will tell you what to address on sales calls. And of course, you just want to copy the language they use. And finally, day 6 to 7, you want to make the offer. Post a piece of content that speaks directly to the problem your discovery calls revealed. End with a CTA to DM you. You don't need a landing page or a VSL, whatever. You just need a simple post, a DM, and a conversation. You close 1 to 3 clients, deliver the coaching live, and iterate every single week. And this is kind of the timeline you want to follow for this. Super general, but you can kind of follow it in a general sense. Again, you just want to start expensive, scale down, and never the other way around. Now, if this board helped you get some clarity, and if you're at the point where you have an audience, but you're not really turning them into paying clients, or you've gotten an offer, but your funnel is leaking leads somewhere in between I love your content and take my money, that is what I work on. I build sales funnels for coaches and consultants with existing followings. It doesn't even have to be massive. Even 1,000 views per reel is really enough to work with. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to have a conversation about it. It is me on the other end, not some setter, not a bot. It's just me. So again, click the link down below, DM me on Instagram, and we can go ahead and talk. But otherwise, start implementing this. And again, if you want to watch a few of my other videos, I'll leave one up on the screen right here for you, along with the full playlist of full course videos so you can kind of absolutely optimize the hell out of your info business before hopping on that call. Here it is. Hoping to see you in one of these videos and hope you get some value from this video. Goodbye.